How did the Encomienda system affect the colonial class structure? Have you ever wondered how a labor system could shape an entire society? The Encomienda system in Latin America did just that. This Spanish colonial arrangement allowed settlers, called encomenderos, to demand labor and tribute from indigenous people. In return, they were supposed to offer protection and religious instruction. However, this system had far-reaching effects on the class structure of colonial society. First, it created a rigid social hierarchy. Spanish colonizers were at the top, enjoying privileges and wealth, while indigenous people were relegated to the bottom as laborers. This division reinforced racial and economic inequalities. The Spanish controlled resources and labor, which marginalized native communities and limited their social mobility. Next, the encomenderos formed a labor-based elite class. Their wealth depended on the number of indigenous people they oversaw and the productivity of their labor. This led to the rise of a landed aristocracy that dominated colonial life. The more laborers an encomendero had, the more powerful they became. This concentration of power in the hands of a few created a distinct upper class. The impact on indigenous communities was severe. Although the system required encomenderos to protect and Christianize the native people, it often resulted in exploitation. Many indigenous individuals faced forced labor, harsh conditions, and the breakdown of their social structures. Some indigenous leaders were co-opted to manage labor, but many communities suffered from displacement and family separations. Moreover, the encomienda system reinforced racial and cultural divides. It legally defined indigenous people as subjects who had to serve the Spanish. This established a caste-like system where social status was linked to ancestry and ethnicity. Such divisions laid the groundwork for future social stratification based on race and heritage. Over time, the encomienda system began to decline due to population loss from disease and economic shifts. It was eventually replaced by other labor systems, like the hacienda. However, the legacy of the encomienda system persisted. The social inequalities and class divisions it created continued to characterize colonial Latin America. In the context of Latin American history, the encomienda system represents a complex chapter. It imposed foreign structures that disrupted indigenous ways of life while privileging European settlers. This system set the stage for the diverse cultural dynamics that evolved in Latin America. Understanding the encomienda system helps us see how colonial legacies shaped societies and their ongoing struggles with inequality and cultural identity.